desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! And become a hero. I do it, and I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Welcome back to another MCU review. I'm Dylan Gable, and today I'm talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, released in 2022. The film is directed by Sam Raimi and it stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Rachel McAdams, Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, Patrick Stewart, John Krasinski, and among others. The film tells the story of Dr. Stephen Strange, who must travel through the multiverse with this girl named America Chavez to destroy this book that Wanda is trying to use and destroy the multiverse and shit like that. It's a pretty packed film. Alright, so what do I think of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? This movie is 2 hours of Sam Raimi goodness. This movie, it blends the superhero genre with the horror genre better than the New Mutants did. So we'll say that. This movie has some really good horror sequences, some really good action sequences. This movie just has the full Sam Raimi flavor. Although, I do think this movie could have used a little bit more madness, you know? That's really my only problem with the film, is that it could have used a bit more madness. It could have went a little further. Maybe even possibly had an R rating. That would have been cool. Because there are times in this movie where it feels like this movie, they wanted to make an R-rated movie with this. Because, yeah, there's some gruesome shit for a PG-13 movie in here. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, oh, wow, the gore was so insane in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. No, it's not a gory movie, but there is some surprisingly gruesome stuff for a PG-13 rating. That's the difference here. And, yeah, what can I say except, yeah, this movie's a ton of fun. The action scenes are creative. The visuals are creative, and they have that Sam Raimi campiness to them. This isn't a movie. Normally for any other MCU film, I would complain if the effects look kind of cheesy, but I'll make an exception for this movie because I know who the fuck directed it, and this kind of stuff is what Sam Raimi is known for. If you've seen, like, the Evil Dead movies, the first three, or his Spider-Man trilogy, those are campy as shit, too. There's lots of cheesy stuff in those. The cheesiness from this movie is something I expected going in. And I loved it. I relished in the cheesiness of this movie. There's some really good practical effects here, and some really good makeup, too. Like, yeah, this movie's full of CGI. It's an MCU film. Of course you would expect that, but there's also some good practical effects work here too, and some good makeup. I liked, it's just so much good stuff in this film. And yeah, the action sequences are intense as fuck too. Well, maybe not so much like the big monster fight at the beginning, but let's talk about the Illuminati scene. You know, where Wanda goes in and just starts wiping out all the members of the Illuminati. That shit was intense. Fuck, you got this guy, his skull gets crushed, and fucking Charles Xavier gets his neck snapped. This movie's over a year old, I can spoil it. And then there's fucking Mr. Fantastic, who pretty much just gets turned into, like, spaghetti. Like, it's pretty, that scene was hilarious, but, like, all the other stuff is, like, it's pretty fucking intense. And Danny Elfman's score really amplifies that too. Danny Elfman provides a fucking awesome score. And then there's the fight between Doctor Strange and this evil Doctor Strange, and they're just fucking battling each other, and there's like these big music notes that they keep throwing at each other and shit. This movie's very creative. I really liked this movie for that. It's very, very creative. And yeah, the horror elements work too. And then there's the action stuff. That's really good. The performances are great too. I actually liked America Chavez as a character as well. I actually gave a shit. Some people were nervous about that. No, not me. I was totally on board for the whole movie with America Chavez. And Wanda fucking kicks ass in this movie. I thought she was a fantastic villain. You really felt her presence. She was actually a huge threat, and you felt that threat too. It was really something to see, and it really made this movie all the more entertaining. And overall, despite me wishing there was a bit more madness in this movie, I thought this movie was a fucking blast. It's very creative. It really combines the superhero and horror elements extremely well. The action was exciting. It's just a very thrilling film that I hope more Doctor Strange movies in the future are just like this one. Just hopefully if they make a third one, just add a little bit more extra madness in there, you know? Otherwise, very, very much love this film. I highly recommend it. I'm going to give Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness an A. So, alright, so what did you think of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? Comment below, let me know, and if you like my stuff, you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.